Hello everyone, I'm glad to see you here today. We've had a great month talking about courage.
Courage is being brave enough to do what you should do, even when you're afraid.
Sometimes there's something that you know is the right thing to do, and you still have to work up the courage to do it.
But remember, you never have to face your fears alone. God is always there to help you.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling pretty courageous about how we faced our fears together over the past couple of weeks.
We tackled the fear of public speaking and the fear of flying, no problem. At this point, I'm feeling like there's not much to fear at all.
Oh no, a cat! Oh, wait, it's not a real cat. Okay, not that I'm scared of a real cat or anything. I'm just saying, look up the relatives of your basic house cat, and what do you find? Lions.
I hope I never come face to face with a lion, unless I'm behind glass at the zoo. But actually, this gives me a great idea for a game. It's a twist on hot potato. We'll call it Scaredy Cat.
If you want to live with courage, it's so helpful to remember that you're never alone. You can do what you should because God gives you the power.
Let's sing this song and thank God for giving us the power to never give up.
When I wake up, I know that you are with me every step of the way. You're strong enough to handle any fear that I face. Even things that scare me, 'cause they seem too big. Even all the hard things that make me wanna quit. You're bigger than it all, and you're in charge of it. And I don't feel so worried when I look to you, Jesus. Your love is unforgettable. Your strength is undeniable. With you, nothing is impossible. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave. When I look at how great you are, your kindness helps me believe that you are good, and with you I can do anything. Even things that scare me, 'cause they seem too big. Even all the hard things that make me wanna quit. You're bigger than it all, and you're in charge of it. And I don't feel so worried when I look to you, Jesus. Your love is unforgettable. Your strength is undeniable. With you, nothing is impossible. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave. Your love is unforgettable. Your strength is undeniable. With you, nothing is impossible. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave. You are the reason, you are the reason I'm brave.
Who remembers our memory verse for this month?
That's right. It's be strong and brave. Do not be afraid. Do not lose hope. I am the Lord, your God. I will be with you everywhere you go.
Yes, we can be courageous because God is with us. Let's dig into that some more with today's Bible story about Daniel in the lion's den.
A story before the story.
Today, we're in book 27 of the Old Testament, Daniel.
God had promised to bless the whole world through Abraham's family, the Israelites. God delivered them from slavery and led them to freedom in the land of Canaan.
God gave the Israelites kings to lead them. But while some kings like David listened to God, many of the kings ignored God.
These kings even led the people to worship false gods. And at last, God allowed the Israelites to be conquered by foreign nations.
Yeah, some of the Israelites were even marched off as captives to Babylon.
But one of these captives, a man named Daniel, still loved God and prayed to God every day. And Daniel is a hero of today's story.
Let's go!
Daniel was taken to Babylon as a young man, but even as a captive, he still stood up for the one true God.
We won't make ourselves unclean by eating the king's food. Test us for 10 days. Give us only vegetables to eat.
God blessed Daniel and made him strong and wise. That wisdom and courage gained Daniel a lot of respect, and he actually served as an advisor to several foreign kings over his lifetime. One of them was King Darius, who conquered Babylon. Now, when King Darius took charge, he placed 120 officials over the whole kingdom and put 3 governors over them. One of these 3 men was Daniel. Daniel was so trustworthy and did such a good job that Darius actually made plans to put Daniel in charge of the other 2 governors. So when these other 2 rulers found out about the plan, they were pretty angry. They decided to find something wrong with Daniel they could tell the king about. But even though they spied on Daniel, they couldn't find a thing he'd done wrong.
Not one single lie!
But Daniel does have this thing about praying to his God.
3 times a day like clockwork.
The jealous governors and officials perfected a sneaky plan and took it to King Darius.
King Darius, may you live forever.
You're so incredibly amazing. We think you should make a special command. What is it?
For the next 30 days, no one in the whole kingdom can pray to anyone but you.
I like it. And if they pray to someone else, they get thrown into a lion's den. Where do I sign?
Oh, well, King Darius was so flattered that he gave orders for the law to be written down, and he signed it at once. And you have to know this. Once a law of the Medes and Persians was written down, it could not be changed, even by the king himself. When Daniel found out about the law, it would have been easy enough to change his routine and stop going home to pray every day. But Daniel's love for God was greater than his fear of lions. The next morning, as every morning, Daniel knelt in his room and prayed to God.
Thank you that you are always with me, God. Help me honor you in everything I do.
Daniel went to his room to pray again at noon and in the evening, even though he probably knew the other officials were watching him. And sure enough, they were delighted to find Daniel disobeying the king's law. Oh, they rushed after the king as fast as they could.
King Darius, didn't you sign an order that for 30 days no one can pray to anyone but you?
Huh? Oh, I did. Or they'd be thrown into a lion's den. Well, no one would risk it.
Except Daniel.
He still prays to his God 3 times every day.
When Darius realized he'd been trapped, he was very upset. He didn't want Daniel to be harmed, but even he couldn't find a way around the law. So at sunset, the king called for Daniel to be brought out and thrown in the lion's den.
Daniel, you always serve your God faithfully, so may he save you.
Then Daniel was shoved into the dark den, and a stone was placed over the entrance. Now, we don't know exactly what Daniel felt alone in that deep, dark place with prowling lions. But in the palace, the king was so sick with fear he couldn't sleep. As soon as the sun rose, he hurried back to the lion's den.
Daniel, you serve the living God. Has he been able to save you from the lion?
Morning sunlight revealed Daniel, with the powerful lions curled up around him, tame as house cats.
My God sent his angel to shut the mouths of the lions. They haven't hurt me at all.
Oh, lift him out of the den at once.
Daniel was completely unharmed. The king was so amazed that he wrote a letter to everyone in the kingdom.
I order people in every part of my kingdom to respect and honor Daniel's God. He is the living God. He has saved Daniel from the power of the lions.
Daniel continued to serve the king, and because of Daniel's courage, every person in the land heard about the one true God. The end.
We have something special for you all today. Check out our Xtreme Kidz talent segment.
This is a story about never giving up. There was this guy who had one hand. When he was a baby, he only had 2 fingers. Well, sorta. Some of it was cut off. When he was 4 years old, he went into the kitchen because he was hurting in pain. His mom caught him because he was trying to cut off his arm. He went to surgery and got his arm cut off. He wanted to play football with his brother when he grew up, but he only had one hand. He got drafted to high school football. When he did, his brother was amazing, but the other one with one hand wasn't that good, so he had to keep practicing. His brother, the coach said that he got held back, but he didn't believe that, so he was going to take his brother's scholarship. But he said if you take his brother's scholarship, you have to take mine. So he stayed on the team. His brother got drafted to the NFL for the Seattle Seahawks. Then the one with the brother with one hand stayed with college. He got drafted in 2009. And he was on the Seahawks on 2018. He loved to play football, but he was crying because he thought he was never going to get drafted. He got drafted on the 41st pick on the Seattle Seahawks. He played amazing, he was on defense, and that's the end of the story. And the lesson is never to give up.
That was great. Now back to our extreme hosts.
Guess what I got? I did a thing. Meet Simba. Just got him adopted from the royal shelter.
Ha ha. I don't think Daniel actually adopted a lion from the den.
All jokes aside, Daniel did face a pretty scary situation when he had to face the lions. But he was able to keep praying and trusting God because he knew that God was with him.
That's true. For you and me too. We can keep doing what we should because we know that God is with us.
Remember, you can do what you should because God is with you.
Let's head to small group and talk some more about the bravest thing you've ever done.